Bomber club. Where am doing? Oh, it's live now, you know.
Nah. Oh, we live. I'll spin it afterwards. All right. Akim, shalom. This is the I.S.U.P.K. under Commanding General YAHANNA. Today is the Thursday scripture breakdown class. So, with this being the scripture breakdown class, if you have anything you would like to ask, this is the class. So you ask any verse in the Bible you don't understand, or you want to understand, or a verse that you've heard in the past, whether you was Jehovah's Witness or whatever denomination, and you didn't understand that verse. This is the class where you ask. This is what scripture breakdown class is all about, man. You know what I mean? Being raised up, we all thought John 3:16 literally was what it meant, and like many other verses in the Bible as well. So, definitely in a scripture breakdown class, you can ask whatever you like. There's not a question that we would shun or we would deem as dumb. You know what I mean? You ask and we break it down, which is what scripture breakdown class is about. But before we get into that, just a few announcements. The I.S.U.P.K, we do have a school in the UK. The address is 394 Lodge Road, postcode B18 5PW. And we teach classes from this school 4 times a week. You can also check us out on a YouTube, I.S.U.P.K United Kingdom, on Facebook, I.S.U.P.K United Kingdom, and on a Twitter, I.S.U.P.K_UK, and on a Google My Business. And also on the Google My Business, it will also give you the directions. So whether you want the directions via car, you can get that via the a bus, train, or by foot, and it will get you right here to 394 Lodge Road. And also, if you've been in the school, you can leave an review as well, man. You can look us up, and if you enjoyed it here, or whatever the case may be, feel free to write a review as well, man. You know what I mean? So with that being said, this being scripture breakdown class, if anyone has anything, write it in the class. You know what I mean? You can say something. Yeah, good.
Could you break down Zechariah 1:18 to about 2021, like 2021?
I got you. No sweat. So you want to break down on Zechariah 1:18?
Yeah.
All right, let's get that.
Zechariah 1:18.
Yeah.
Then lift I up mine eyes and saw, and behold, 4 horns. And I said unto the angel that talked with me, what be these? And he answered me, these are the horns which have scattered Judah, Israel, and
Okay.
Jerusalem.
So now, what are these 4 horns? In the book of Daniel, it lets you know that, horns can represent empires. So what are these 4 horns? All throughout the Bible, the Babylonians and like the 4 empires that they have scattered us all over the earth.
The Spanish, the Portuguese, the British, and the French.
Well, not at this time here. You know what I mean? So at this time here, it's the Romans, the Persians, the Medes, the Greeks, the Babylonians. So he's asking, like, what are these 4 horns? And the angel's letting Zechariah know that these 4 horns, they've scattered us all over the earth. From, you know what I mean? Why? Because when we're under them, we lose who we are. And then what happens? We just go all throughout the earth, trying to be like everyone else, trying to blend in with everyone else. And that's how we get scattered all over the earth. You have something, bro?
who's the horns? Is it the king or kingdom? Is it Daniel 8?
All right, so to prove that the horns are a kingdom, the officer is going to get a precept in Daniel 8.
Daniel 8:21. And the rough goat is the king of Grecia, and the great horn that is between his eyes is the first king.
Is the first king. So, of course, the first king was who? Alexander the Great, as the world so calls. So, horns represent empires. So, now in the vision of Zechariah, these four horns, they've scattered us all throughout the earth, whether it's the Babylonians, the Persians, the Medes, the Greeks, and the Romans. Now, you can add England and Spain into that. Why? Because their origins are from the Roman Empire. So basically, these empires, they have scattered us all over the earth. And this angel is showing this to the prophet Zechariah. Read on.
And the Lord showed me 4 carpenters.
So now, what's the point of this? So now, remember now, with the 4 horns, they have scattered us everywhere. Now, in the vision, Zechariah saw 4 carpenters. So let me ask you a question. What does a carpenter do?
Lay carpet.
Woodwork.
That's right, man. So meaning, although these 4 horns have scattered us everywhere, the Lord's sending men who are going to fix us, man. So it's like, yes, even though we are everywhere, there's men that are going to fix us. And that is the ISUPK, man.
That's right.
That is Isaiah, Ezekiel, Haggai. That you mean, even though we've lost our way, there's always going to be men that are going to fix the nation of Israel, man.
That's right.
Read on.
Then said I, what come these to do? And he spake, saying, these are the horns which have scattered Judah, so that no man did lift up his head.
So now what does that mean? Meaning that no man can lift up his head, man. Meaning with a burden that they have in opposing us, we can't even lift up our head, man. Bondage, we've been fed their philosophies.
That's right.
That what we can't even lift up our head like, no, this is wrong, man. We just like, damn, this seems to be the way. And this scripture, it's so right now where as a race of people, we can't even lift up our head, man. We can't be like, listen, you know what, that is wrong, man. I don't like this. As a nation of people, it's just like, well, that's how it goes, man. That's how it goes. Even on some of these jobs, man, they're making racist jokes about you. And of course, not us, but a lot of people, they just get on with it. Why? Because they can't lift up their head, man. They've lost the mind. And the precept to go with this is in the book of Daniel as well, that what? They shall wear out the saints of the Most High. Exact same thing where as a nation of people, we're so worn out, we can't even lift up your head, man. You just accept it like, well, it's the way it is, man. You don't lift up your head and fight and go, no, man, I'm not taking this. What you done was wrong. We're people that to even speak up against the wrong, that's just hard work, man.
So I mean, I think 2 part of the tune, so that's just the way it is. Things will never be the same. In the tune is like, well, you sound crack to the kids. It's like, well, straight to get paid. It's like, well, so it go.
And that's a heavy example where you can even write a song about it. Like, well, that's life, man. Why? Because he can't lift up his head, man. He doesn't have the mind or the ability to go, you know what? We need to do something about this.
That's right.
We need to fight against it. Instead, what do? Bow that head down, man. Instead of lifting it up, it's like a crap.
So
I don't want to make it a music class, but Nas had a tune about that as well called "Life's a Bitch" and then you die. So in the tune is saying how this sounds get high because you don't know when you're gonna go.
There you go. And those are heavy examples of the lack of fight we have for why all the enslavement that we've been in. That right. The thought of even to fight, which is normal in life, you want to live. And what is the best way to live is to fight, man. If you don't fight, you don't live. And we have even lost the ability to live, man. We've lost the ability to fight, to survive. That's why we have our head down. That's why no man lifts their head up. Why? Because life is so rough. Even the thought of, I got to fight to stay alive, man. I gotta fight to preserve my race. In our minds, it's hard work. Like, damn, forget that, man. I just want to get a job, man. Listen. You know, all that fighting talk and that black talk, it's good. But listen, man, I just got rent to pay, man. I'm sorry, man. I just can't deal with that, man. You know what I mean? I gotta pay for my car, the tax, the insurance, Sky. You know what I mean? To fight and do what you do, it's just too hard, man.
Right.
And that's what this enslavement has done. To where to fight and you got rent to pay, it's like, well, damn, forget that, man. And that happened in the book of Exodus, where you know what I mean, we was the same way. We didn't want to leave Egypt. Why? Because it was hard, man. We was working under the Egyptians, and to get fed by them, it was easy, man. And that's why in the a wilderness, so many of them was like, I want to go back. Why? Because to fight is hard. And you know what I mean? In the UPK, we fight, man. You know what I mean? And now, of course, in the world, you're just thinking about me. Listen, man, all that fighting and you know what I mean, someone hating me. I don't want to go through that. That's why no one lifts up their head. Because
It's in Numbers 11 and 5.
Mhm.
In the wilderness, it says, we remember the fish we did eat in Egypt
There you go.
freely, the cucumber and the melon and the leek and the onion and the garlic.
And imagine that, man. Now, I want you to think about this. The Lord saved us from the Egyptians, saved you, man.
Right.
We was in Egypt doing what? Working for the Egyptians, man. Being under another nation. And what happened? Even though we are redeemed, what is in our mind? I want to go back to Egypt, man. Remember that fish and the onions, man. Come on, man. I'm in the wilderness. Well, guess what? You are free, man. In the wilderness, you are free, but it's just not enough, man. What the Egyptians gave is like, nah, I just want to go back to that, man. You know what I mean? Even though I'm free, I'm not under them. It's just hard, man. I'm in the wilderness. I gotta provide for myself. You know what I mean? I have to look for food. I gotta make my own tent. In Egypt, they made us a house and we just stayed there. We worked all day and went back to that house. And that's what happens, which is what Zechariah is talking about right here.
It's like, I've seen that many times. It's like we're so comfortable being slaves that it's just easy to be a slave. It's easy to, you know, just find a job than to actually make one yourself. It's so much easier. Like all the other nations will make businesses, but for a black man, it's easier to find one. I even find myself sometimes getting trapped in there. You know what I mean? YAHANNA knows is always saying, nah, man, jump on this, jump on that. I was like, it's easier just to, you know, to find a slavery and that. And it's like the mentality some of us are in. And to the point that we was getting whipped in slavery, came out of slavery, and all we could think about is how easy we get a KFC pound bucket meal, man. Or you know what I mean? Or some garlic or some watermelon.
And that's heavy. And also, what did it show you that with the freedom we received, we deemed it as it was nothing, man. You know what I mean? That there wasn't any value unto it. Why? Because you know what I mean? You would rather not have what the Egyptians had, but you're free. But you go, listen, I'm not under them. I'm not working for another race. I can wake up when I want. The Lord gave me his laws. But instead, that's hard, man. I'm in the wilderness. I gotta walk over here and do this and that. And what was in our mind back then was, listen, man, in Egypt, it was so easy. All I did, I just did what they wanted of me, and I got fed, man.
Salakia, the one.
At the house, can't you?
Salakia, would I be able to go as far as saying that the Israelites were institutionalized?
Absolutely, man. You know what I mean? You can say that even back then, man. That, you know, we was so assimilated into the Egyptian way of life that even when you left them, and imagine this, the Lord parted the Red Sea, man. You saw something that the average man doesn't see. And that's not enough to convince you that, listen, I know I had a life back there, but listen, the Lord wants me, man.
Right.
God parted the Red Sea, and all what I can think about is, back in Egypt, I got fish, man. Onions. You know what I mean? That's the people that we are, man. It's lucky, brother.
But we walked into Israel as a free nation because of drought and famine. We made their nation great. We made the Mizraimites, their nation, great when it was box standard before we got there. Why after that didn't they change to our will? Why did we succumb to theirs?
Okay, so you're asking, all right, you mean we went in the land and at first we was dominating them. You mean we were the head people? Now in the book of Exodus, what does it say? There arose a Pharaoh which knew not Joseph. So yes, at one point they looked up to us, but of course, as time went on, Egyptians they got racist, man. They're like, listen, yeah, you know what I mean he done that back then, man. Yeah, but you know what I mean he didn't help us then, but listen now, this is now, man. And right now, we don't want them in our land.
I was thinking more spiritual than physical. How did we end up? How did our spirit succumb to wanna be them or go back to them?
Oh, why?
They could see clearly and evidently how great we were as a nation.
Well, okay.
We were.
Go ahead.
There was only 8. How much was there? It was just the
80,
12 brothers,
80 souls, yeah.
Yeah, so it was a nation then, innit? So obviously we had to mingle in it. We had to mingle with them, innit? Yeah.
Well,
you get what I'm trying to say?
okay. Now, in the Bible in Exodus, it breaks it down. So meaning what? With the bondage that we had, that's what made us reverence them. Why? Because they was providing what like the officer read the fish and the onions, and that's life. You know what I mean? Sometimes because someone does because someone hands you something doesn't always mean that they care about you. But with us and the bondage that we was in, all we had to do was just work for them. They provided us a house. They made sure that we was fed, and that's how we became under them. Like, listen, I just do what they say, and then what happens over time? You have a son, and then now with that son, what you mean? Now with that son, you let him know that look, man, if you do what they say, you're gonna get fed. You're gonna have a house, and then what happens with that son you have? He tells his sons that listen. Just do what the Egyptians say, man. You're going to get that fish. You're going to get it with the onions. Just do that. And then what happens over time, a people become subject to another race of people. That's what.
So, like, so what you're saying deep, because that's what black people today, we're a race of people that's been taught by our mothers just to go uni.
Right.
And then what do? Grow up and tell our children the same thing. Listen, just go uni. You know, work very hard. And then one day when you get 80, get a retirement. And live a life of working and slavery and misery and just keep passing it down.
That's right. That's right. And also, I'll add on to that, you know, you can read it in some history books. When it comes to blacks and Hispanics around white people, what do we like to do? We like to amal a lot. And, and now the thing is, even that is a slave doctrine too, man. The white man don't want to see you looking mean. You mean he wants to see you happy? You're not sad in England. In the West Indies, we were picking cotton and cane. You can't be sad while you're doing that, man. I want to see you happy, man. Smile. And guess what? We teach that to, you know what I mean? We teach that to the young ones today, man. Right. You look too mean, man. What are you frowning for, man? Be happy. Listen, frowning is not a sin, man. If you're in a bad mood, you're in a bad mood. You know what I mean? It is what it is. But again, like in Exodus, be like, listen, just do what the Egyptians say. And like in England, do what the white man says, man. The white man likes you happy, man. The white man likes you joking and smiling and, you know what I mean, saying some dumb jokes, man.
Yeah,
even that, it gets passed down, man. It gets passed down to where, you know what I mean, being in the UPK, we don't smile. We just do what we got to do. And they find it strange, like, rah, like, are you all right, mate? Is everything right? Like, yeah, man, I'm fine, man. You know what I mean? You're not very, happy and I know that. And really, what they mean is you're not being what I want you to be, man. You're not being what, you know what I mean, what and we believe you should be. And that's subconsciously what it is, man.
So,
you got
it's like you said, just to add to that point, what you said was heavy. I mean, even if you don't like even talk their language, talk like them. They see that you're rebelling or you're different to them. You got to talk like them. And then when you come out of work, it's like you can be normal again. You know what I mean? You can be yourself. Salakia.
No, and there you go, man. And why? Because from young you was taught, listen, make them happy, life goes fine, man. So when you're in that job, smile. Listen, man, no mean look, man. No, you know what I mean? Listen, in that job, every day is a good day to you. You can't have no issue at home and go there mean. Nah, man. Every day, smile, make some jokes, always be that happy guy. Listen, man, we don't want that black mean face in there, man. And those are things that we are taught from young. Even if someone didn't say word for word how your mom lived, how your dad lives, that's what it shows you, man.
Right.
It's like if you got a mean foot, like you're just doing your thing. It's like they're not comfortable, innit? They're thinking, what's up with him? Is they want to, you know what I mean? Find out what's up with you because you're not smiling, being that happy-go-lucky, bouncing around in the workplace or happy, and they're thinking, hey, something wrong with him, innit? You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely, man. Go ahead.
So I said, even if you do have like braids or something, like let's keep it simple. But we think we do is have it braids just to the back, nothing too crazy because we don't want to scare these white people. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
you don't want no hairstyle with the braids up here and piece hanging here. It's like just enough that they feel fine around you, and who is the guy for that? That boxer, David Hay, man. David Hay, his hair. Have you noticed? It stays the same. With those cameras in the head, they're in the same position. I don't know if someone undoes one camera and just puts it back. Like I don't know what the hell happens with his hair. But you know what? That is safe braids. You mean that the white man can go? He has the hair, but it's not ghetto, man. It's not the black man from Handsworth, Leicester, Radcliffe in Nottingham, Moss Side. It's just the safe braids. That hair's nice. It's just enough. But you gotta have the cameras this thin and the pattern and the overlapping. The white man's like, whoa, listen, man, that's a bit too much, man. And let me tell you something, with David Hay, there's a reason why he has his hair always like that. Because him being around, what's the boxer's name? Eddie Hearns. Him being around Eddie Hearns, it might just blow his mind. It might make him scared. Like, listen, nah, man. David Hay's back in East London again, man. Nah, man. We can't have that. And guess what? All those things you were taught. Why? Because your mom wanted you to survive, man.
That's right.
All of it was taught, son, don't rebel, man.
Right.
Don't that black talk. Don't ever say the word racism. As a black man, don't let the word racism come out of your mouth.
Something just came to me when you talked about the braids. You gotta remember David Beckham had them braids as well, didn't he?
Yeah. There you go.
So white people be like,
David Beckham had them same braids. Why? Because those are safe braids. Now, of course, if you have them, it's not a sin. But those braids in the oppressor's eyes, it's safe braids. Your black man that has your hair, but it's just how we can manage it. You know what I mean? We don't want nothing much, man. And that's why David Hay has his hair like that. You're telling me all the money he's got, he couldn't get someone to give him some pattern, man. You know what I mean? With these Ingle braids coming down and a piece on, you know what I mean? He could have all of that, but he knows that it wouldn't go well in the work that he does, man. That's what he does know. So let's read on in Zechariah.
But these are come to that one.
No, sir.
But these are come to fray them, to cast out the horns of the Gentiles, which lifted up their horn over the land of Judah to scatter it.
And there you go. And with these carpenters, they've come to fray away all of the Gentiles, man. All of what the Gentiles have done unto us. These carpenters, they've come to fix it, man. And that's what we do in the UPK, man. In the UPK, we keep it black in here, man.
Right.
And on the holidays, we play the music we like, man.
That's right.
Why? Because we're not trying to make you conform to their way of life.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with being black and being righteous, man.
That's right.
What the world likes to make you believe is righteousness somehow it's gotta be some white man's way of life.
Right.
I mean, if you got the braids, listen, man, God don't like that, man. If you're playing, some reggae music, hip hop, or whatever the case may be, God don't really like that, man. If you don't shake hands, God ain't with that. And that's what in the UPK we break that, man.
That's right.
We keep it black in here, man. You know what I mean? And it's not gonna change. I don't care who rings me about. I saw a video, yeah. And on your high holiday, you're playing a lot of reggae music, so yeah.
Yeah. What?
Yeah, but like it might make someone feel away. Well, listen, they feel away, man. We don't water this down for you.
That's right.
Listen, man, the UPK has been doing what it's been doing from 1969.
Right.
And I'm not gonna stop this for you. Who's
Right.
gonna leave next week?
Right.
We're gonna do what we've been doing. Why? Because this is what black people need, man.
That's right.
In 2021, people think that being godly is being white. Like even when Christians pray, they were using nice words and oh Lord, dear Lord, and the infatuation, and they say all big words that you emancipated my soul. They think being white is being godly, and to even talk like a black man straight away, he can't be man of God. To have baggy jeans or being a UPK straight away, like, nah. People think that being black is ungodly. You can't walk with a bop and be righteous. You can't talk slang and be righteous. Naturally, they think that like being godly is being white. They even pray, even when they try to pray, nice big voice. If you go to church, you see them praying, the pastor be using big words straight out to the Oxford Dictionary and shit.
That's right. And you know what is heavy about that? Really, in the Bible, the prayers of the men of the Lord, they are black men. Right. A man that is black man. Do you know what? Does anyone know what the word amen or what in the Hebrew aman even means? So be it, man. So be it. Do you know how black it is? Like, I prayed, Lord, what you mean? Whatever you want to do, man. I prayed, this is what I said. So be it, man. That is black. That is black. Like, Lord, I'm asking, if you don't do it, so be it. Done. That is black people, man.
Right. Even shalom, like shalom is peace, and black people are the only people that say peace, say hello, and peace, say bye. So it will be like, oh, shalom, you're good. Like in the 80s, we say, oh, peace, you're good. And when we're leaving, all right, peace. Like only black people do that. The same word, peace. And the farewell.
No. What he's saying is heavy. And reading the Bible, it's so black, and religion just don't see it, man. So be it is black man, like Lord, I've said what I said. So be it, man. So if you wanna, if you don't, but I've said what I've said. That is black, man. You know what I mean? So be it, so basic, but it's so just to the point. Like, listen, it's in your hands, man. Done.
Can't sir. So these carpenters in the scripture here are basically what we're doing. Is bringing back our culture. What we're doing right now in the I.S.U.P.K. Would I be right saying that?
Absolutely, yes. Yes.
Can't say.
These cops will frame away Gentiles. Frame me like
when you get away, yeah. So meaning like, you know what I mean? All what we've learned of them, all what is stopping us from raising our head, these are carpenters, they're gonna fix that, man.
Right.
What is preventing us from us obeying God? These are carpenters, they're going to build us back up, man. This is what a carpenter does. A carpenter erects things, man. He makes a frame, you know what I mean, and does all kind of stuff, and he builds, and that's what these carpenters are doing for the nation of Israel, man.
Right.
The 90 is fray away. It's fray away. The 90 is like he's even like birds like eat a dead body. You run them off.
That's right. Absolutely, man. And that's it. And in the UPK, that's what we do. We build black people, man. In here, we speak ghetto, man. And now I want to just say this: even if you don't, it's not a sin. But we do that. Why? Because this is where we are, man. And there's nothing wrong with how you talk, man. You know what I mean? For so long, society makes black people feel like there's something wrong with me, man. I'm just a weirdo. And you know, in the Bible, hip talk is in the Bible, man. In the Bible, slang is in the Bible. And how you are, besides the unrighteousness, everything else is in the Bible, man. And that's why in here, we don't water it down. We speak slang in here, man. We speak raw, you know what I mean? How we want to, man. You know what I mean? In the Birmingham accent, we talk fast and we don't slow it down to try and, you know what I mean, meet everyone's needs. Birmingham people talk fast. And guess what? If that's how you talk, that's how you talk, man. You mean whatever accent or whatever you have, do it, man. We're not trying to get you, listen, speak slow. You know what I mean? Don't speak with that accent now, man. Whatever you got, you do it. Why? Because the Lord. Well, why? Because the Lord doesn't even care. It's the white man that cares. He cares, but the Lord doesn't care. And that's why in here, it's not an issue. You know I mean? We don't fight over things like that. Why? Because the Lord don't care, man. Listen, you could come in here with that Liverpool a Gausa accent. If you do, you do. Does the Lord care? Absolutely not, man. You know what I mean?
My grandma would cuss all the time when we was little. Anyone would come in the house and say damn. But damn's in the Bible.
Damn is in the Bible. Damnation.
Damn is a black word.
Damn is a black word, man. And
my grandma used to go crazy.
And that's the problem.
We're all going to hell if we curse and use these words.
I know. And you know the funny thing? In the Bible, that's not even a curse. A curse is a punishment from God. And if you curse someone, you're hoping that God does something to that person. That is a curse. So F's and B's, of course, in a class, you know what I mean? We're not going to, this and blah, you know what I mean? Of course. But if you a curse to what the world says today, that's not even a curse.
My daughter's grandma's even worse. If you say God damn in front of her, she loses the plot.
You see?
God damn it, loses the plot. We're all gonna burn in hell.
You see? And that's religion, man.
Right.
Why? Because you know what I mean, all these horns that we are under, they've made us believe these things, and God doesn't care about none of it. I mean, they put things in our head which we believe makes you righteous. And it doesn't. Damn. Listen, God don't care what you say, man. From as long as you don't blaspheme against him, guess what? You are good, man.
Right.
You know what I mean? Obviously, what we're doing right here, I won't be effing and blinding, of course. But listen, God don't care, man. Those things ain't swears, man. In the Bible, in fact, there was even swears back then, man. When Christ is calling people snakes and the vipers, that's a cursing.
That's right.
You mean, of course, now, you mean a viper doesn't mean nothing to you now. But back then, those words were like, what? You calling me a viper? But guess what, man? You know what I mean? It's there in the Bible. You mean you snake, you generation of vipers? You know what I mean? With Christ, he's insulting him, man. You're calling someone a viper? Now, a viper's not a nice animal, man. A viper's rep is not good. And you're calling the people a generation of vipers. You know what I mean? That is insulting somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what? Christ did not sin. Right. So that means there's nothing wrong with that, man. Any more in Zechariah? That's it. So that answers it for Zechariah 1:18 to 21. So is that understandable, Zechariah, the breakdown and all that good stuff? All right, man. Yes.
I was told once also that Christ called Pontius Pilate a devil. Is that in the scripture as well?
That is in the Bible. Get the scripture where it says, I cast out devils. So we're going to get that. So even Christ, he knew that the white man was the devil back then, man. But we're going to read it and let's break it down. Let me find it. I cast out devils. It should be.
Oh, okay.
Is it stuck? Is it Luke?
Luke 13 and 22. Like Luke 13 and 32. 32. Luke. All right. But to set the scene, we'll start a few verses up above just to make the point. Luke 13. Luke 13. 32. All right, start from 31.
Come. The book of Luke, chapter 13, verse 31. The same day there came certain of the Pharisees, saying unto him, Get thee out and depart hence, for Herod will kill thee.
And also, not trying to divert, back in Zechariah where it said no man would raise up their head, this is it right here, man. With them, Yahushua, they're saying, get out of here, Herod, man, he's coming for you. They're 31. 13 and 31. That might be the next chapter, 14 and 31. Luke 13 and 31.
13 and 31.
Luke. 13, let's say 13. 13,
Oh, okay, no, something happens all the time. Trust me, I've been victim to it. I've been victim to it too, man. So, read that again.
Khan. The same day there came certain of the Pharisees, saying unto him, Get thee out and depart hence, for Herod will kill thee.
There, man, and there you go, man. More of us that are afraid, man. Rome is helping us. Like, listen, man, Herod, he's gonna kill you, man. Run. You know what I mean? Why? Because they're scared. And just like what I was talking about, you know what I mean, in the class, because no one wants to die, you teach people how to survive. And how to survive is go with the flow of things. Don't argue. Don't rebel. Don't, you know what I mean, go against anything. And these Pharisees right here, they're scared, man. Christ, go. Herod will kill you, man. Go. Dip blood, dip, brethren, dip, man. Go. You know what I mean? Why? Because they're scared. And with Christ, he's not scared. So now let's see what he says in the next verse.
Khan. And he said unto them, Go ye and tell that fox.
Ooh, that's insult number one, man.
Right.
Tell that fox, man. Tell that idiot. Tell that. You mean you go tell that prick, man? That'll be a modern day breakdown. You tell that fox, man. Why? Because a fox, its reputation isn't good. What do people say about a fox?
Sly, devious,
Sly, a cunning, a sneaky animal.
Right.
Meaning he's insulting Herod, saying what? He's sly, cunning, and all things that ain't good. That's insult number one, man. Reader.
Khan. Behold, I cast out devils and I do curse.
I cast out devils, man.
Oh,
so what's he saying?
I'll get it now. The context. It's like saying, yo, the police looking for you. Like, what? I cast out devils, man. And so he's calling Herod the devil.
Yeah.
He's like, Herod's looking for me. He must not know that I cast out devils, man. Like he's saying.
Yeah, you're right, man. You know what I mean? So he's calling Herod a devil right here. Like, you know what I mean? He's looking for me. I cast out devils, man. Ain't no devil gonna mess with me. I get rid of devils.
That's right.
Meaning what? He called the white man the devil back then, man.
That's right.
Bro.
Herod was the Edomite, which would be a so-called European today, man. He's like, what? Herod wants to kill me. Listen, I cast out devils, man.
That's right.
But he's looking for me. If the demons are, you mean, basically, right, what he's saying basically, he makes demons run, man.
That's right.
Demons, you know what I mean? They don't run him. He runs devils, man. Reader.
Khan. Behold, I cast out devils, and I do curses today and tomorrow. And the third day I shall be perfected.
So what's he talking about there? Meaning he'll die and on the third day be resurrected, man. He's saying, listen, man, I cast out devils, man. I mean, I'll come here to do my job. I'm going to die. And on that third day, I'm coming back, man. Forget Herod about he wants to come after me. He wants me dead. Listen, I'm finishing this job. Forget Herod. I cast out demons, man. And guess what? You know what I mean? Those would be, you know what I mean, your F's and your B's of this day and age, man. It shows you how much religion, whether it's Christianity, Seventh-day Adventist, Jehovah's Witness, they don't know the Bible.
Mhm.
So when he's calling them these things, what do they think it means? When they're reading it, you know what I mean? Like, if you believe the Bible is real, if you believe these events happened, then as you're reading it, what is running through your mind? What is in your head, bro? So what would this mean today, man? And that's the thing. If you don't believe in this book, you just read it and it just sounds good. While as if you believe this happened, then you make it relatable to today because you want to know how it was like back then.
So,
While as if you don't believe, it's just something you read and you don't get no comprehension. You don't want to understand it because you don't believe it anyway.
like you said.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt and cut you there, but you know, when Christians read the Bible, right, they don't actually think for themselves. You know, it's the pastor. Whatever the pastor says, that Bible mean is what they believe. You know, they never get to get the concept themselves because they'll ask the pastor, and the pastor will tell them what he think it is. You know, and then they think, oh right, okay, that's what it is, and they never actually get to read it with their own kind of eyes, if you could, if you would. Slack
No, and you are right, man. And I'll give you an example. In the Bible, there's lots of verses that they read, and it's not saying that. Like you read to them, this verse saying this, you go, okay, let's read it. It's not saying that, is it? And you know, because they have not read it, they just go by what the pastor said. And then when you read that same verse, you're like, listen, that verse obviously isn't saying that. And that's how brainwashed they are. That, you know, listen, with Christ is calling him a fox, a devil. And they never think those are insulting words, man. And if and now if the greatest example to what the earth said those things, then is it a crime? No, it's not, man.
Right.
Is something wrong with it? No, it's not. Otherwise, Christ would not have done it.
Right.
But when you're religious, you read the Bible, and even though it's in your eyes, you can see it. You go, no. He's not saying that. What's the famous one? You're taking it out of context, man. Nah, man. You know what I mean? You took it way out of context. Way out of context, brother.
Right.
Listen, they take everything out of context.
It's content.
Christian takes everything out of context, man.
To like yourself, if I could.
Yeah.
There was one that they love to use and take out of context. Is when I asked a sister one time. I said, the Bible says a woman's not supposed to speak in the church. When I was in the church at the time, and what showed to me, that was at that time. You've got the wrong context. At that time, they wasn't allowed to, but now they are. You know what I mean? So that's a perfect example of them being brainwashed. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Like if they can't answer you, you took it out of context. No, that's not what it's saying. That's not what it's saying. And you know what's funny? They will never ever provide you with what it does say.
Right.
Just, you're wrong. You know what I mean? I don't know what it's saying, but you're wrong. And that's what they do, man. So let me give you an example of a verse that they read. And the sad thing is, it's not saying that at all. Let's get in the book of Genesis. Genesis, about they heard the voice of God, or the voice of God walked in the garden. Genesis 2.
Is it Genesis 2 verse 1, counter?
It might be 3, Genesis 3.
Oh yeah, it's here. Verse 8, 3 verse 8, sir.
Yeah.
It says, Genesis 3 verse 8, and they heard the voice of the Lord God walking in the garden in the cool of day.
So now, how did they break this verse down?
Did you break down like the voice of God got legs and walking in the garden?
Yeah. Now, is that saying that?
The answer?
So, who is walking in the garden?
Adam and Eve walking in the garden.
Thank you. If you start in the verse above, it's talking about Adam and Eve. They ate of the fruit, which wasn't a literal fruit, etc. And they knew that they sinned, and they heard the voice of the voice of God as they walked through the garden. But in the church, you know that they believe that. This was who was it here?
God's voice
had legs that God was walking in the garden. When this verse is let you know that Adam and Eve, they was doing the walking. But this is the verse that they use. Go listen, man. With God has been on the earth. Let's go here. See, they heard the voice of God as they walked through the garden. You see, the voice of God was walking in the garden. Like, listen. You start from verse 6. It's talking about Adam and Eve, man.
Right.
They heard the voice of God as they walked through the garden, man.
Correct.
And let me tell you something. None of them don't even know that. That's how embarrassing Christianity is, man. That they can't get the simple context of who is doing the walking, man. Stuck it, brother, you guys.
When I first came into this truth, I heard, I can't remember the white pastor's name, but there was a white pastor debating one of the camps on YouTube online, and he gave his breakdown. He was cursing out the camp leaders and giving a breakdown of Revelation 1 and 14. And his breakdown was, you're black, we're white. Revelation 1 and 14 says his head and his hair were white like wool. Now the head is the face and the head, which is white.
Oh.
That was the white pastor's breakdown. Not just the hair is white. It says there the head is white. So therefore Jesus was a white man because his head was white.
So
yeah.
And you see, like, that is the nonsense right there. They don't know the Bible. Their breakdowns and now head says word, the context is so off. Like, listen, you're not even making sense. So if his face was white, then what about his feet then? Like, what happened? So you got a man with a white face and some dark feet. Like what happened, man? Like,
I guess it's not black talk, man. Like, yo, go comb your head, man. Your head first, your head, man.
Correct.
There you go.
Headpiece.
He's the hair on his head, all the hair on his head. That was his breakdown.
Our head, when we say head, we mean your hair. Like, yo, go comb your head.
So look, Yusuf.
Yeah, good.
Would that be a perfect example of Judah being scattered by the horns?
In which way?
Well, they've been scattered to believe in what the pastor's saying rather than the correct teachings that we teach.
Yes, you can use that as an example too. That is a part of the scattering as well, the indoctrination, the religion, the philosophies. You know what I mean? And that's about.
Oh, another question.
Another question. Yeah. So you know what I mean. So now in the book of Genesis 3 and 8, who's doing the walking is Adam and Eve, and in the church they don't even know that. They believe God's walking in the garden, and it's not saying that. It is ridiculous. You know what I mean? Some people claim they've read the Bible 20 years, and you don't know who's doing the walking.
You
got something?
You go on, Khan. Like Christ told disciples to carry swords. And also I read about how Peter sliced off a God's ear when he comes come against Christ. Would that be safe to say that the disciples were well trained and skilled in combat?
Absolutely, because to slice off someone's ear, you know what I mean? You can't just do that by accident. You know what I mean? Why? With because I don't know if any of you have ever held a weapon in your hand, but with a sword, with the end part, it's really heavy. So for you to pull it out and just take someone's ear off, you had to have had practiced that many times because the end part is heavy. You know what I mean? He could have done that, took the man's head off. You know what I mean? It could have got him here. It could have got him here. But to get his ear and the end part of the sword has a weight in it for the cutting. Now now for you to go 1, 2 and just the ear, you are a trained man.
That's right.
You can't do that by chance. With the sword. That's why in here we practice self-defense, man. You know what I mean? In here, we are realistic. You know what I mean? In the church, they just believe things happen. Now, can the Lord give you the wisdom to go and make it happen? Absolutely. And that's what we do in here. We're out on the highways and byways saying things people don't want to hear. It would be common sense to know how to defend yourself.
That's right.
If you're out there saying things people don't want to hear, like it just makes sense. And likewise, in the Bible, you know, you read about King David, many of the abilities he had. If you take religion out of it, he was a man that practiced. But they don't used to believe, you know, the Lord just gave King David this ability, and King David jumped over walls, ran through a troop, etc. But let's read, what's it? Psalms 144 and 1.
Luke 22 and 36, is that right?
Yeah, let's get that first. Luke 22 and 36.
Then he said unto them, but now he that have a purse, let him take it, and likewise his script. And he that have no sword, let him sell his garment and buy one.
So now, why did Christ say this? Because in the book of Matthew, he was with them. And of course, the Lord, he was with Yahushua. So he said to them, you know what I mean? Don't worry about your purse, a grips, a sword. Why? Because he was with them. But a time's coming where Christ, he's going to sit at the right-hand side of the Most High.
Right.
His disciples have to carry on that work. So now the disciples, they need the purse, the script, and the sword to protect themselves.
But that was deep last week, because a garment is something you need. Christ saying the garment, the sword's not put in the garment.
That's right,
sell
man.
your garment, get one. Christ saying sell your car and get a sword. Saying like this, the work is so dangerous. Like I'd rather you sell your garment and get yourself a sword.
And that's right. And I'll add on to that. I know now a lot of the garments we wear, you can buy them £6, £11. To make a garment back then, it was expensive.
Right.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's like now someone made a garment specifically for you. Now in the Zondervan Bible Dictionary, we had them undergarments, of course, but your main garment in the Zondervan Bible Dictionary, it says that a man had only 3 in a year, man, because they were that expensive to make. And Christ saying, listen, sell one of those garments to get a weapon, man.
Right.
Meaning it was necessary. He's saying, listen, one of those expensive garments that are hard to make, you might want to have to get rid of one of them to get your weapon while you do this work, man. Why? Because people ain't gonna like what you say, man.
Can't.
That's why it behooves you to learn how to defend yourself. Singing and dancing doesn't save lives, man.
Right.
Banging on the tambourine don't save lives.
That's
right.
You need to learn how to defend yourself to save your life, man.
That's right.
Exactly.
Salakia, going back.
No, sir.
Just going back to what we was talking about with pastors. So we know when there's Jeremiah 23 and 1, is that talking physically about these pastors? The pastors that led his sheep away from the pastures. Is that relating to that, what we was talking about?
Absolutely. Now, of course, he was talking about back then. Why? Because there's people that did lead us back then, and you can use it now. It's the same thing in a different lifetime, but the same thing where they lead us and they're wrong. They're causing us to error. So yes, you can use Jeremiah 23 and 1. Why? Because the same thing was happening back then.
Is it our own pastors though?
Absolutely, yes, yes.
Not pastors from other nations.
No. Specifically in that verse, it's talking about us, meaning we are causing our. I mean, we are making our own to error, and it's talking about us, black pastors, black imams, black deacons, black sheikhs. You know what I mean? It's talking about us in Jeremiah 23 and 1. Absolutely. So yeah, again, so in Luke, you know what I mean? You can get it in the Zondervan Bible Dictionary under the section of garments, and garments were expensive. In your lifetime, you never had many of them. It's not like now where you buy loads of hoodies, loads of jumpers, loads of jeans, and you know what I mean? In this day and age, they get made so fast. There's so much. Back then, by hand, someone made your garment, and it was expensive. Dye is expensive. All the things that went with your garment cost lots of money, and in your lifetime you didn't have many of them. So Christ saying, listen, you're gonna have to sell one of those to get a sword, man.
The sword is expensive as well. A man got to get the metal, put it in the furnace, bang it. Both of them are expensive still.
That's right. That's right, and that shows you how necessary it was to sell your expensive garment to buy an expensive sword, man. It shows that to defend yourself, it is necessary. You know what I mean? A lot of times with the kids that we have, we just make them sing and dance and live life. Nah, man. Life ain't always a song and a dance, man.
That's
Right.
Your son needs to know, listen, if someone messes with him, he knows how to defend himself, man.
Right.
Your daughter needs to know, listen, hit that person in the nuts, man.
Right.
Your daughter needs to know that, man. They can't be singing and dancing all their life, man.
Come on.
Playing Xbox One series all their life.
Come on.
Once in a week, do take them somewhere, man. Let them know that life is real and you will have to defend yourself, man. Don't raise your kids on just entertainment. Let them know, listen, learning self-defense, it might be rough. You might get hit in the face, man. You mean no one likes to get punched in the face? Even with the gloves. You mean no one likes to punch in the face, but guess what? Learn it the same way, man. Take that punch in the face, man. So that, you mean once you leave the gym, someone does that to you, you're not shocked, man.
Right.
You mean you are used to it, so that what you can defend yourself even after that punch, man. Which is what it is all about. You mean if you learn any self-defense, the reason why you get hit and hurt so much because they're trying to make you as tough as you can be, so that when you gotta use it out there, you are resilient, man.
Right.
All them punches in the face that you take, it's so that if someone hits you, you're not shocked. You know what I mean? Have you seen a fight and someone that never been hit in their life? What happens to them? They get punched or shook. Whoa. While as if you learn to box or whatever the case may be, you will absorb it and you will fight, man. You know what I mean? You will receive the punch and then you're not shocked. While as someone who's never trained a day in their life, you get punched like their world's rocked. Like, whoa, shit, damn. What happened, man? And guess what? That happens if you don't train, man.
The hypocrisy of England, like they talk about we're a Christian country and turn up a cheek and non-violent. But when the terrorist attack happens, the first people they look up to is their military and their police force. So they know that you need masculinity and strength to keep order.
There you go. It is common sense. If you believe in singing and dancing and harps, England wouldn't have the RAF. They wouldn't have the MI5. They wouldn't have all these organizations that are around to protect England if self-defense wasn't necessary. So likewise, in your life, you need self-defense too, man. You need to know if something happens, you are confident in handling it, man. You're not lost and raw, you know what I mean? Why? Because you don't know what to do, which is what happens so many times, man. You know, I don't know who does it, but in life, when in a situation of your life, there are 3 F's that someone may do. It is fight, freeze, or flee. Now, what you don't want to do is freeze. That is the most dangerous thing you can do. Do you know what that means? Meaning, imagine, you know, you went to a bar and you're drinking, and a man's angry, like, come on then, and you freeze, you're like, damn, he was angry. You know what I mean? You should never freeze.
Right.
You freeze, you're a dead man. So he's gonna attack you and you froze. Now, the man that runs away, you know what I mean? Me personally, masculinity, manhood, I don't want to run away. But at least he had the common sense to go, listen, I'm not gonna just not do anything. I'd rather run and see another day. But you freeze, meaning you shut down like, raw. That man was aggressive. I didn't know what to do. That is a no-no. Never ever freeze in your life. And the people that freeze are the people that don't know anything.
That's right.
They've never been to a boxing gym in their life. Never learned no self-defense. Never done no judo, jiu-jitsu. Never done nothing. And when someone gets angry, they're like, shit, like, damn, I've never had no one get aggressive with me, and they freeze. They don't know what to do. Their world is rock like raw. And then they get the adrenaline rush, and that's why their head goes up in the sky like, I don't know what I don't know what to do right now. And they don't do anything. And you can't do that, man. If you want to survive, you cannot freeze at all, man.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Honestly, I don't agree with running, but even let it go well, he did something. Than to freeze. Than just to go, damn, I don't know what to do. Damn, and the person's come on then. You're just not saying a word and just freezing, just shit. You know what I mean? That is a no-no, man.
Even animals have a defense mechanism. Like a horse would run, whether like a snake will fight back. You know what I mean? Even they don't freeze.
Yeah, animals don't freeze, man. A snake, it will run away or it would fight, or it runs away to when it's backed up, then it fights. But even the animals, they either run or fight, or they run away till they have to fight. But to freeze is a no-no. And if you don't train yourself, you will freeze, man. Someone will get angry with you. And because you've never been in an environment where you've had to deal with someone being angry, even when they're angry, you still fight, you defend yourself, you are going to freeze because you don't know what to do, man. Let's get that Psalms 144 and 1. Psalms 144 and 1. That Feli's a survivor.
Psalms
144 and 1.
Psalms 144 verse 1. Blessed be the Lord my strength, which teacheth my hands to war and my fingers to fight.
All right. So again, in religion, how do they break this down? What do they make it seem like to you?
Like it's praying and we fight one day.
Yeah, like, because if you know what I mean, King David's like, Lord, please, man, I want to fight. And all of a sudden, King David just blocking and countering and doing a hook, and you know what I mean? Like, that's not what this is saying, man. Meaning the Lord gave King David the ability to what? Learn how to fight, man.
Right.
All throughout history, you can research it. Wrestling is the oldest known martial art on the face of the earth. Look it up. Look it up. You know what I mean? I'm not making it up. Even on the Egyptian hieroglyphs, they are wrestling. Wrestling is the oldest known martial art. Then it is boxing next. On the hieroglyphs, people have the same boxing gloves that we have now. You can look it up. To learn how to defend yourself, it's not far-fetched. Even ancient man knew, listen, I need to know something, man. You know what I mean? I'm out there in a world where someone might try to rob me, man.
Right.
Someone, you know what I mean, may think I'm soft, and I'm not soft. So, you know what I mean? If I don't know how to defend myself, learn. And King David, the Lord blessed him with the ability to learn how to fight, man. And guess what? King David was good at it too, man.
That's right.
You can read it in Psalms 18, which we'll get next, man. King David could fight, man. Matter of fact, let's get that one. Psalms 18. It's like 32 or something.
Do you want to get that, Roban?
Okay. Psalms chapter 18, verse 32. Come on. It is God that girdeth me with strength and maketh my way perfect.
There, so now in this Psalms right here, it's talking about the Lord being with him in war. So now, what is the point that King David is trying to make? Even though he can fight, it's the Lord that brings him back, man.
Right.
If the Lord wants you to die, you are going to die, man. So King David understands, even though he can fight, it's the Lord that girds him with the strength. Read it.
Come on. He maketh my feet like hinds' feet, and setteth me upon my high places.
So in war, King David's feet were like hinds' feet. What's the analogy? Meaning he's fast on his feet, man.
Correct.
I mean, big, powerful legs running down the warfield, man. You know what I mean? King David was what you would call today athletic, man.
Right.
His feet were like hinds, man. Like, what's an example in America? What's that sport? The NFL. Those brothers can run, man. Have you seen them running up the pitch, left, right, this? You know what I mean? Those men got hinds feet, man.
Right.
King David was like that, man. On the battlefields, King David was a wide receiver, man.
Can't.
I mean, King David was what you will call today athletic, man.
Can't.
And guess what? The Lord gave him that ability, man. Because I'm gonna blow your mind. Everyone is not athletic, man.
Can't.
There's some people, athleticism ain't in their bones, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Some people don't have that athletic ability about them. Now, it doesn't mean they can't defend themselves, but they're not an athlete.
Can't.
You know what I mean? It's not the same. Some people can fight, but they're not athletes.
Can't.
Some people are athletes and they can't fight. They're athletic. They can jump high, run fast, but they can't fight. They're scared to get hit in the face, or you know what I mean? They can't really throw that jab. You know what I mean? They're not fighters. They're athletes, but they can't fight.
Is that the spirit or is it genetics?
Well, you know what? I can't say it's genetics. You mean some people have an athletic ability about them where they're fast in what they do. But even though you're athletic, it doesn't always make you a person who can fight good. So it depends, because some people can fight. They got the anger, the aggression. They can take punches. They give it. They're fighters, but they're not athletes.
Can we say
I
most high puttiness?
I wouldn't say that. I think it's just, I don't want to say it's genetics. I think it's just your ability, your physical ability. Some people ain't physically able to be athletes.
Right.
While as they can fight, but they're not athletes. And some people, they got the physical ability to be athletes. They can run fast, jump high, athletic, you know what I mean? Do handstands and splits and blah, blah, blah. But that doesn't always work in the fighting.
Can't.
It's just you, and you mean what you have and what the Lord lets you have. That's you're saying it.
So like you said.
Yeah.
Just to add to what you said, but David had both of them, right?
That's right, man. David was blessed to have both of them, man. Because some athletes ain't fighters. You mean there's some athletes that go, I want to try MMA, and they get beat up. You know what I mean? But you're like, he's an athlete. You know what I mean? He's in the gym benching this, and he can run so far, and then goes in MMA, and on his beginner fight, of course, you don't give him the best fighter. You give him someone who's as bad as himself, but that person can fight and beats the athlete.
It's fair to say Deontay Wilder was like David. He started out a basketball player and ended up boxing.
Man. Deontay Wilder, you know what I mean? Like that, he's athletic. The boxing, you know what I mean? The jab and that, it ain't the best, you know what I mean? Personally, you know what I mean? It can knock you out, but the boxing isn't there. But as you said though, as an athlete, he was able to make it work in boxing. But every athlete doesn't have that ability where
he couldn't fight. He started out as an athlete and he made that transition, which I guess very few do.
There you go. I'll give you an example. That big wrestler Brock Lesnar. You know what I mean? He's an athlete, man. Big 6'4", muscles, all that here, can run fast. He's an athlete. But in MMA, his career is dreadful because he can't fight.
Right.
When he's hit in the face, he starts to curl up and you don't want no more. He's not a fighter. He's an athlete.
Should have stated WWE.
Yeah, and he did. And he did. Once he lost in the UFC, he went back to doing professional wrestling because he's not a fighter. As athletic as he is, the fighting isn't quite there, man. But let's read on.
Khan, verse
33.
Verse 33. He maketh my feet like hinds feet and setteth me upon my high places.
So meaning King David can jump high, man. Meaning in that war, he can jump on some high places, man. The enemy got something high, he's running, jump up there, you know what I mean, and just handle the business, man.
Right.
King David knew how to defend himself, and what religion does on verses like this, they make you believe that he just banged a tambourine and just you know what I mean, just something came into him, and King David and just started running fast, and that's not what this is saying, man. Right. It's thanking the Lord for giving him the ability to get this, man. Read us.
Right. He teacheth my hands to war, so that a bow of steel is broken in mine arms.
And King David was strong, man. Even a bow of steel, mean it bend it. You know what I mean? So if the enemy had that long a bow, after he's beat them, of course you don't want them to have them a weapon, so you get rid of them. King David would bend it with his arms, bend that weapon, man. King David was strong, man. And there's only one way to get that: if you work out, man.
That's
Right.
You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with going to the gym, man. You know what I mean? You got some people over righteous. Gym means gymnos in the Greek, and it means nakedness. But you're not naked in the gym, man. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Yeah, it does mean that. But are you in the gym naked? No, you're not, man. You're in there with your shorts and your shirt and your trainers. You know what I mean? You ain't naked in the gym. So that don't apply to you. Yes, in ancient times, the Greeks worked out starch naked, man. The Greeks wrestled naked. You know what I mean? But you're not doing that, man. You're not doing that. Which is another thing about wrestling isn't gay. You're not having sex with a man. You are wrestling. Now, of course, the Greeks wrestling naked, that's what made it gay. But of course, if you're doing wrestling now, you ain't naked. And also, you're not having sex with a man. You are wrestling, perfecting a martial art. You know what I mean? So even people say that, yeah, we're wrestling, it seems gay. Listen, wrestling isn't gay. They're not sleeping together. They are training, perfecting a martial art of grappling. Ain't nothing gay about it. You know what I mean? Now, if they was having intercourse, that is gay. But they're not gay because they're doing jiu-jitsu, which is a martial art. If everyone understands what I'm saying. Because you got some people, yeah, but it seems a bit gay, you know what I mean? You and a man on the floor wrestling and tussling and you're now, okay, you mean everyone has their personal opinion. If you don't want to do it because that's how you perceive it, fine. The Bible says where there's no law, there's no sin. But is jiu-jitsu gay? Absolutely not, man. They're perfecting martial art, they're practicing locks and the guard and the half guard and how to get back up on their feet. Ain't nothing gay about that, man. And they're wearing clothes. You know what I mean? So even things like that, if you want to learn those things, it's not a sin. You know what I mean? Don't feel like you're in the world because you're learning boxing. No. You know what I mean? These things are martial arts. In the Bible, it says, I've made man's hands. Meaning, you know what I mean? You learning boxing. Yes, you learn it off a man, but guess what? Those inventions come from the Lord, man. The Lord made man's hands and man's feet. You know what I mean? So don't feel no way if you are doing those kind of things as well, man. Read on.
Come. Thou hast also given me the shield of of thy salvation, and thy right hand hath holden me up, and thy gentleness hath made me great.
There, man. So meaning, even though King David had all these abilities, he knew that the Lord overall was with him, man. As athletic as he was, as strong as he was, King David knew, yes, I have all this, but at the end of the day, the Lord's with me.
That's right.
And why am I going here? Because even though you can learn as much martial arts as you like, as much kickboxing as you like, the Lord has to be with you. You know what I mean? Don't believe in the martial arts. Yes, you practice it, but all in all, it all comes down to who the Lord is with, man.
That's right.
And how do you know it matters about who the Lord is with? Because look at us. We are some of the most athletic people. We dominate boxing. We dominate MMA. And we are in the ghettos dying. Why? Because the Lord ain't with us.
That's right.
Even though, you know, athletically, we are some of the best, man. Athletically, we break all the records. We got all the belts, man. In boxing, MMA, kickboxing. You know what I mean? We got majority of the belts, but yet we die by the police, man.
Part of Deuteronomy 7:6, the spirit he put in us, these are the nation. Is that what makes us physically better? Not just physically better, spiritually better in every way.
That's right.
Because you don't have to be physical to be a good cook, but we make the best chefs. You don't have to be physical to make the best mother, but our sisters are better mothers than the other mothers from the other nations.
That's right.
You don't have to be physical to be the best friend, but we make the best companions.
That's right. No, absolutely. So yes, you can use the book of Deuteronomy to show that we are the best people on the face of the earth. And if you don't believe me, life shows you, man.
So the physical side is through the Spirit as well. He made us greater than all nations.
Absolutely, man. We are greater than all nations.
So if you remove that Spirit, would we be we wouldn't be faster than everybody else. We wouldn't jump higher than everybody else. Would it be right to think that?
Absolutely. It's the Lord that gives us everything. You know, in the book of Deuteronomy, it says that the Lord is in all things that we call upon him for. Meaning us as a nation, God is everything to us. Everything about us, God is that. And likewise, even all the physical abilities and all that we have, it's from the Lord. And how do you know it's from the Lord? We grew up in the ghetto, man. Lack of food, bad food. You know what I mean? We get the worst food. You do know how you do know how it works, right? Richer areas get the best food. And then we get bad chicken, bad fish, bad vegetables, and still we are more athletic than everybody else.
That's right.
You know what I mean? We eat bad chicken, bad rice, or what you know what I mean? And yet in the gym, we get bigger than everybody, man. There's a white man in his area got the best chicken, farm food, Sainsbury's, high gross, whatever they call it, and your bad food gets you bigger than him. Why? Because that's the Lord, man. And then you know what's funny? You're in the gym joking, man. You know what I mean? I'm in the gym, man. Us as black people, we're not even in the gym. You know what I mean? Working out hard. It's a laugh, man. You know what I mean? He's doing his set. You're laughing at him. Oh, it's my turn. Yeah, man. And the other day, and such and such and such. And there's a white man in the gym gritting his teeth. Come on. Come on, mate. Yeah, you know what I mean? And guess what? You know what's funny? You get bigger than him. And he has all of the best food and, you know what I mean, buying the best shakes, you know what I mean, whatever the case may be. And with your bad food, you outdo him in the gym, man, to where he's jealous, man. You know what I mean? If you're not sure, you'll be working out and you see him watching it, you know what I mean? You're just doing your thing in the mirror. You're seeing him at the back, like kind of eyeing you, like, he's jealous, man.
And the ultimate gift that the Spirit gave us, the breakdown of the Bible.
That's right, man. Let's get it a hand, man. That is the ultimate gift, man. You know what I mean? As much as we talk about those other abilities, the best ability we got is that we are the chosen people of God, man.
That's right.
We are the prophets in the Bible. We are the people that God is going to give the kingdom of heaven. All that is good, but that matters more than anything, man.
Right.
Funny, so I think
do you remember Hyman was saying that they said that they socialize black people, you know what I mean? Like, you know, they socialize us. Because we're the only people that socialize. Like, they live in semi-detached houses where we're crammed into one apartment. We actually know how to socialize and get on all our neighbors and don't play music at certain time because you piss this neighbor off. We're more socialized than them. They live in the countryside, semi-detached houses. Like, they know the one bus driver that runs the bus in their countryside. And they said that we need socializing. We're more socialized than them.
You know what? I'm glad you said that. You know, I was speaking to someone a few weeks ago, and you know, they were, you know what I mean? They're like, I can't live in Handsworth, man. You know what I mean? All the black people and all that. So his argument was, well, if I live somewhere white, everything's going to be fine. And I said to him, listen, you don't know what you are on about, man.
that's right.
In white areas, they all hate each other. Those neighbors fight each other, man. They call 999 in a heartbeat, man. They can't stand each other. You know what I mean? They fight each other. You know what I mean? With them, the man of that house fights the man of next door because one, he made his fence a bit too long in the garden. You know what I mean? And you know how silly they are? They argue over land when, guess what? They've got the land already. And guess what? They even get the maps. On my house, this deeds, my fence should be so far. And I'm sorry, but I got to knock down your fence and take some of yours. When you got the back garden already, man. You know what I mean? Like, come on, what difference does the extra yard make, man? And you know what I mean? They argue over 1 foot of yard in the back garden, man. So you know, I'm sorry, my fence has to go over some more, and they're gonna fight each other, call 999 on each other. They're gonna do everything. And listen, white areas, they all hate each other, man.
Can't.
They may laugh at each other, but when he leaves, fucking wanker, he can get in the house, man.
Yeah.
Can't stand him. Listen, as a black man, you moving into an area that is white, guess what? Your life is going to be hell, man.
Right.
You're gonna play some music and they're gonna call the police on you, man.
So,
And they're gonna lie. I thought it was domestic violence. You know what I mean? The music was so loud. I thought someone was getting beat in the house. They're going to lie on you,
God.
and they're gonna make your life miserable, man. You mean they're gonna want you to park your car just where your house is, while as us, we don't mind. You know what I mean? We got the common sense to go, well, he couldn't park his car there because his car was there, so he parked over there. In white areas, forget about it, man.
can't.
If you park your car by someone else's door, you're gonna get the window doom 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 doom. Yeah, mate. That's my house, you know. Yeah, mate. Yeah, but you mean it's my car that is there, and you're gonna be like, yeah, but come on, man. You know what I mean? We all live on the same road. What's the difference? Listen, mates. I want my car by my effing drive and start getting red in the face.
Can't.
And that is life.
All right.
You mean us as black people, we socialize well, man.
Right.
We don't care where you park your car. They do, man. And guess what? They got lots of space, but their car has to be outside their house. If you're going to visit someone who lives next door, you park your car there for 10 minutes. Yeah, mate, you know, that's mine. You're like, yeah, 1 second, I'm just going to his house. Okay. So when are you going to be back? And they get all the offensive over the road.
Right.
And then you want to live around them. You don't know what you're doing, man.
That's right.
So it seems to be global because Sister America said they fight over whose tree is hanging over their property.
There you go. That is true. Like, you know what I mean? And they will ring up whoever they need to ring up and go, well, with that tree, you know. And this is the dumbest one. You know what I mean? It's hanging and it's blocking the light. It's a nice day and the tree, you know what I mean? It's blocking the light. This is what they say. And then you're going to have to pay some guy to get rid of it, man.
Cool.
That's how they live. They are not sociable.
That's right.
They are not sociable. It is a lie.
So like I say, it's mad because trees just grow. So like the trees on my side of the fence was hanging over your side of the fence. So I got cut in a tree on my side of the fence because hanging over your side of the fence. Like,
Absolutely.
oh shit, man.
Absolutely. Or if like you're a tree bends their fence or something like that, someone will go, well, I can't make you pay for that. It's a tree. You can't help what it's done. They will write you an invoice. Well, it has to get a brand new fence, and here you're going to pay for it. While of course, blacks and Hispanics, we know, well, it's a tree. You can't make the tree bend. You know what I mean? When it's going to go by your fence.
Right.
Cesar Point said, Khan, I've definitely experienced that for real.
There you go. And it's something that is reality. You can't live around white people.
Can't.
They are defensive over everything. Slacky, brother. I got 1 second.
It can resonate clearly because they're not social people, because we socialize immaculately.
Mm-hmm.
We go to each other's houses, we want to feed each other up, we want to know what we're doing. When you're drunk, you're very antisocial. What I notice, when you go to a white man's house, they don't offer you food.
Mm-hmm.
They offer you alcohol.
True.
That's their hospitality and social structure, to get you drunk. And then you're sitting there in the house drunk and you're not sociable anymore.
It's true. No, and you are right, man. I mean, we have perfected it. They haven't. They haven't.
Sorry.
Listen, okay. I mean, right now we're in Birmingham, so you go to white areas, Edmonton, King Standing, whatever the case may be, and they're not sociable, man. They're gonna park their cars outside their house on their driveway. God forbid you block it for 1 second just to visit a friend. They lose their mind. Excuse me. You know what I mean? You're blocking the driveway. Like, yeah, 1 second. I'm just quickly going in to do this thing, man. And like, so what then? You're gonna be long. You're gonna be this. And they're all, why? Because they're unsociable. We are social. We got the common sense to know he's blocking my driveway because he's gonna visit his dad. He's coming back. You know what I mean? We got that. They don't, man. And that shows how unsociable they are, that they can't even allow you 10 minutes just to go in the house, sort out something, and go back in your car and drive. They don't want you. They don't want your car by their house, by their driveway at all. That's how unsociable they are, man.
Can't.
Like what the brother said, how we hospitable in the Bible. We used to like a brother come from outside, like we get our servant to wash his feet for him.
That's right, man. Let's get that. Hakian, you had something?
So like you said, I was just gonna say, yeah, if I could, I experienced them knock on my door yesterday and tell me to turn down the music. You know, it's too loud. We're working from home. It's too loud. You know, can you turn down the music? Yeah, no problem. Yeah, no problem. I said, oh, what's your name anyway? But when I knocked on the door to say hello, I'm the new neighbor because I was asked to, right? No one didn't want to answer. You know what I mean? They only answer, but they want me to turn down the damn music. You know what I mean? Devils.
That's right. And also on the back of that, that's ridiculous. If you're working from home, that's your problem.
That's right.
From home, you know what I mean? What do you want me to do? So I can't do what I want to do because you want to work from home. By law, you can't play anything loud after 11 o'clock. That is law.
The law.
11 at night, that's when all noise has to stop. That is law. So no one can't knock on your door technically and tell you turn down anything. Now, if you want to, it's up to you. But by law, you don't have to. Because you're working from home, what does that have to do with you?
That's true.
And again, that goes back into how unsociable they are. That they can't go, well, I'm working from home, but is he doing something wrong? So, hey, it's life. And just get it back on with work. In their mind, no, I'm working from home. I don't want to hear nothing, man. I got to concentrate. And they feel the need to knock on your door when that's not your concern. You know what I mean? Let's get the verse. Look.
John 13 and 12. So after he had washed their feet and had taken his garment and was set down again, he said unto them, know ye what I have done to you?
Yeah, man. And this is Yahawashi right here. And Yahawashi, he was hospitable, man. Meaning with the disciples, when they came in, he washed their feet, man. Now, I know some of you probably think washing feet. Now, of course, back then, you know what I mean? There was dust, there was sand, and we didn't wear Nikes back then. You know what I mean? Yeah. There was no Air Jordans back then. They were wearing sandals, and the sand and the dust gets on your feet. And the hospitable thing to do was to wash that sand or that dust off your feet, man. We had hospitality. You come to our house, we already knew what to do as a race of people.
That's right.
We knew how to socialize as a nation, because that's only one account you read of, but in the Bible there's many. Meaning we had it patted down already, man. You know what I mean? We know how to socialize already, man. And our greatest example, he did it too. Any more in that?
Break it down how
and Peter's been okay. Read the rest.
Start verse 1, I think it's the one.
No sweat. So we're gonna start off in we're gonna start off in John 13 and 1.
Can't see.
Oh, Salaki, just to add on to that about the noise and like the neighbors. There was a documentary on it about the neighbors from hell. And there was a man, he opened up a shop next door, and the woman, she called a council, and the man's like, I'm not making no noise. I don't know what she's on about. So now the council worker, to investigate the case, he had to stay in the house till about 9 o'clock because she claimed this is when all of the noise begins. So in his investigation, he stays in the house. And come to find out, do you know what she was whinging about? All right, have you seen that thing where like it's on the roof and when the wind blows, it spins around?
Oh my gosh.
Now, she moaned about that. So now with the council worker is in the house and it's 9 o'clock. So on this documentary, they even took the mick out of us, so it's 9 o'clock. And the councilman's like, and he hears this, and it's like, and she's like, there. It's like that. And then now she got on the defense. Well, I'm sorry, but I've got very sensitive hearing, and the council worker's like, I'm sorry, you know, obviously is trying to be nice. I'm sorry, but I can't run an investigation on that. You know what I mean? Really, that's not noise. I'm sorry.
Right.
She goes, but it keeps me up at night. I got work in the mornings. Like, I'm sorry, I cannot do an investigation on that. He goes, that's not enough noise for me to make a valid investigation. And she's like, well, then I will take it to where it has to go. And he goes, listen, any investigation you make, it's gonna come back to me, and I'm gonna say no. And then he left the house like, damn, like, you mean they wait till this time? And that's what white neighbors do, man. Antisocial. Blowing wind, like, what do you want the man to do? And you made the council workers have to stay in your house till 9 at night just to hear the wind blow, man. I've got sensitive hearing. I can hear it, and it's affecting me. And he's like, I'm sorry. He goes, I cannot do an investigation on that. He goes, no, I cannot do it. So you know what I mean? So that's one example there. Read that, John 13 and 1.
Got one cancer. John 13.
My bad. John 13 and 5.
Got one cancer. John 13, verse 5. After that he poureth water into a basin and began to wash the disciples' feet and to wipe them.
Okay. And that's hospitality right there, man. He washed the disciples' feet. Why? Because we knew how to socialize thousands of years ago, man. When someone comes to your house, you look after them. You don't just give them gin and tonics and rum, and you know what I mean. You don't try to get them drunk. You feed them, man. You want something to eat? Are you hungry? We got Mars bars, Snickers. We got snacks. We got this. We got that. You've been out all day, man. Your feet are filled with sand. Here, man. Let me wash your feet, man. We knew how to socialize,
right?
And it's in the Bible. Reader.
Got one cancer. And to wipe them, Salakia, to wash the disciples' feet and to wipe them with the towel wherewith he was girded.
Where he was girded, so meaning with the a towel that he wiped their feet with, he had it around his waist, so he took that off to, you know what I mean, wipe their feet. Reader.
Kadawan Khan. Then cometh to Simon Peter, and Peter saith unto him, Lord, dost thou wash my feet?
So now with Peter is like, what? You're washing my feet? Like, of course, you know what I mean, this is the Messiah, man, the King of the Jews. He's like, right. What? You're washing my feet? So you know what I mean? He took a bit of offense, like, nah, I can't make you wash my feet.
It's like when you go to a man's house and like the butler, he will get your coat or he will get you the drink. The man of the house don't do it himself. It's a servant's job.
That's right, man.
So the destiny, like I'm your servant, like you can't wash my feet.
There you go. So you mean they'll be like, listen, I don't think it's right that you're washing my feet. You're better than me, man.
Khan.
I should be washing your feet, Christ.
Right.
Reader.
Kadawan Khan. Yahweh answered and said unto him, what I do thou knowest not.
So the point he's making is what I'm doing now, you don't understand it. You don't understand it. You don't understand the reason why I am doing this. Because the man on top doesn't wash someone else's feet, man. You mean usually the manservant or the maidservant, they would do it. He's like, listen, like, why are you doing it? And he's saying you don't understand it right now. But guess what? He's gonna make them understand it. Reader.
Kadawan Khan. But thou shalt know hereafter. Peter saith unto him, thou shalt never wash my feet.
So now he's like, listen, Christ, you ain't never washing my feet, man.
God.
All the respect I've got for you, I cannot allow you to wash my feet, man. I just can't do it. Read on.
Kadawan Khan. Yahweh answered him, if I wash thee not, thou hast no part with me.
So what does that mean? Meaning, listen, Peter, if you don't let me wash your feet, then guess what? We can't hang out, man. You can't have no part with me, man. You can't hang with you can't hang with me anymore, man.
Right.
Showing you what that you mean that the point he was making to him is that listen, even though I am above you, listen, I care for you the same way, man.
Right.
Like I said, was a metaphor of Christ cleaning them.
It's
Like,
a metaphor, of
spiritually.
course. Yes.
But then you get it. Say that basically, like us in UPK, Christ cleaned us. Christ said, if I don't clean you and get you off drugs, get you off cocaine, and stop having sex with whores, then you can't be a part of the UPK. You can't be a part of me.
That's
You know what I'm
right.
saying?
Yeah. Okay. So now,
But Peter didn't get it.
yeah, he didn't get it. It's okay. On the a carnal aspect, he literally washed their feet, and he said to them, "You don't understand what I'm doing." And of course, he didn't understand it. He's like, "Listen, Christ, I'm not allowing you to wash my feet." But he didn't understand that he's more than just washing their feet,
Like symbolic of really cleaning them spiritually, or
and that as well. You know what I mean? So he didn't understand it. So he's like, "Listen, nah, man, you're not washing my feet." But again, he didn't understand why. And also, there was a point in it that listen, even though I'm above you, I care for you lot too, man. Which is in the UPK. Being a captain don't mean you're mean some demon reigning over people being mean to them. The higher you are means the more you care for everyone, man.
Right.
The more you look out for everyone, the
Right.
more affection you show for everyone.
Right.
Rank don't mean you just dominate people and listen, do this,
Right.
man. You gotta care and look out for them. And that's what Christ was trying to let them know as well, man. That
Right.
even though I am above you, I'm the king of the Jews. I'm washing your feet, man. I'm being hospitable to you, man. I'm not being mean to you and reigning over you, and you know what I mean? I'm the captain of 10,000. Do this, shut up, man. Nah, man. We deal with each other good in here, man.
Right.
We don't deal with each other like that. You know what I mean? Regardless of your rank, that person that comes in here, they are one of us, man.
Right.
They're still black and Hispanic, and you deal with them good, man.
Can't.
Reader.
Can't, sir. If I could add to that, sir, if I could.
Yeah, good.
And since I've come to the I.S.U.P.K, that's all I've seen. That's all I've seen in this school, you know. Nothing but hospitable brothers, no matter what rank they are, no matter what level they are, everybody get treated as a brother, which is definitely here in this school, Talakia. Just to add to that, sir.
That's right, man. And you know what I mean? Just a little sidebar. In here, we don't make someone feel this small. At the end of the day, you mean if you do something wrong, we will let you know. But at the end of the day, you are a man.
Can't.
We don't take your manhood from you when you feel like some little boy.
Can't.
Yes, you're wrong, and you will get checked, man. Someone will ring you and let you know, but no one makes you feel like a boy, man.
Can't.
Why? Because we're not trying to belittle you in here, man. We're not trying to go, listen, I'm the big captain. You're nothing, man. You're an idiot. You're stupid. You this, shit, that. Nah, man. At the end of the day, you know what I mean? You come in here to serve the Lord. And none of us don't want to hinder that, man.
Right.
We don't want to belittle you and make you feel like some boy to you're like, damn, I'm in the right place. I come here to serve the Lord, and damn, like I'm just being knocked left, right, and center, man. Now, of course, you know what I mean? Don't get it wrong. I'm not trying to, you know what I mean, make it seem like nothing won't happen. But we don't belittle you, man. Read on.
Come on, counsel. Simon Peter saith unto him, Lord, not my feet only, but also my hands and my head.
So now with Peter, like, listen, if I can't be with you, F that. Wash all of me, man. Wash my feet, hands. Wash whatever you gotta wash, man. But listen, man, you know what I mean? I'm not leaving you. Shit, you know what I mean?
Right.
Damn there, wash my feet, my hands, damn there, you know what I mean? My arms, whatever you want to wash, so be it, man. Why? Because he knew that, listen, man, you know what I mean? I'm with you, man. And if you're saying, if I don't allow this to happen, I can't roll with you no more, then damn there, wash everything, man. Damn there, you know what I mean? Wash my hair, get the Dax and the shampoo. You know what I mean? Do whatever you gotta do, man. so that I don't leave. And that's how we are, man.
Right.
You know what I mean? To maintain this brotherhood that we got, you gotta fight for it, man. You gotta fight for it. Even sometimes if you gotta take low, man. Even sometimes you're like, you know what? I'm gonna let that go, man. You know what I mean? You gotta fight for it, man. every day, everyone ain't gonna always be best of friends, but you gotta fight to maintain it. And
Right.
this is what you're reading right here. A man that he didn't want his feet washed by the greatest man to walk the earth. But he's like, listen, what we got, I don't want to lose it.
Con.
You know what? Damn there, you mean forget that, wash my feet, my hands, you mean whatever the case may be, so that we don't lose what we have. And that is the I.S.U.P.K, man.
That's right.
That is one West right there.
Con.
So with that, anyone got anything before we close out?
Let us.
Let us.
Everyone good? No sweat. With that, I'm gonna hand it over to priest and officer of 5,000 Karafia.
Half class. Gotta give the teacher one kiss. Salute, men of Israel. I'm Madiam. Me to stand. I'm Madiam Shabbat. I'm Madiam Barak. Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai Barakatah.
Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai Barakatham.
Yajamata. Me hand down and class dismissed.